Recap here, it's December 6, 2017. Here at the Dallas Airport, flying back to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Had foundations here with Guardian, and so this will be a private YouTube channel until clip until we can close it up. So it was good. It was great to be able to hear the philosophy, hear their thoughts. Very similar philosophy, and just the way that I like to visit clients and being able to have that more conservative approach and helping them understand, number one, when it comes to money, just really understanding the value of money, not just budgeting, but really understanding like what their strategy should be. So for me, I live in the 70-20-10, so live on 70%, save 20%, and then donate 10%. That's just kind of the mantra that really needs to be emphasized out there, because when you focus on saving, that's when you can really drive the ultimate control over your money versus being at the mercy of a rate of return. And then you're literally at the mercy of whoever is managing that portfolio, which may or may not be a good thing. The other thing that so it was just a great event. I met a lot of good people from around the country. It's because it was basically nationwide. There's people outside of people from the West Coast. There's people from everywhere. Basically, I think the furthest west I saw was Salt Lake City, Utah, but then all the way to New Jersey, Connecticut, New Hampshire, those places. So there's probably about 100 people that attended. So it was a really good event. And then, so for me, going out of town, it's fun, but it's lost its nostalgia at this point. I'm 38 years old. I got 4 kids at home. I got a wife, and so for me, I prefer to be sleeping in my own bed and hang out with the boys and hang out with my wife. So for me, I ended up flying out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, just because it was like $350 cheaper to fly out of there than it was from Wausau. So what I ended up doing was driving at like 6 in the morning, and I was so tired, so I ended up stopping a few times, like 4 times actually. So a 3-hour drive turned into 4 hours, and then I got back. I got there at 10 o'clock. Flight is at 10:50. So luckily, I was able to get through the TSA gates and onward, and then flew down here. Had lunch with Jason and Riley at B-Dubs. We took an Uber over there, and then after that, I went for a run. Actually, first did some jumping jacks. I brought my jump rope. I did jump rope, and then I ran for about 3 miles. I was actually really surprised. I haven't run since August, and was still able to put in an 8.5 minute mile. So who would have thought? And then after that, we had dinner as a team, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then half a day Thursday today, it was just going through this philosophy, and that's really the idea, those foundations, right? If you have a particular culture as a company, you need to be able to make sure that you're giving every new employee the opportunity to know what your culture is and buy into that. And it doesn't mean that they need to drink the Kool-Aid, but they need to understand where the context is coming from, where all the training going forward is going to come from. It's really going to be the overall focus. And so now it's 12 o'clock. Changed out of the suit, got into some more comfy clothes, and so now flying back to Minneapolis, driving home. So just wanted to recap there. In regards to like where everything's at, kind of work-wise, it's kind of an influx situation right now where I'm running a few different things. So I'm basically building myself up for that next eventual move, right? So I see there's going to be some motivational speaking. There's going to be some books out there. There's going to be some coaching opportunities, but that's something that I think I'll just do ad hoc, and I'll do at cost. Like no cost to anyone else. I'll just pick and choose who I want to be able to coach, and it'll be, but really from a financial advising, it's just building out that practice. I want to open up an office in New York City and in Houston, just those 2 major hubs, because I see huge opportunities for both of those areas, and then my industry, right? 78% of them is 57 years old, and they're white male, and they want to retire, and so here's a great opportunity for me to kind of go in and start kind of changing the industry a little bit on its head. Plus, I have more of this team mentality and leveraging technology, Skype meetings, go-to meetings, to be able to connect with all these clients no matter where they live. And so it'll be interesting kind of where we're at right now, like 3 years from now, just 3 years from now, to see kind of where that goes. Jim and Dan will retire in June of 2018. June of 2019, and that's when really things start really getting hot and heavy. So it'll be really interesting to see how quickly that progresses and how fast we can start moving those clients and helping them have a little more active engagement with where we're headed. There's a Prudential stand next to me. That's what we call competition. And then let's see what else. And it's just a weird buildup, right? Because even though I'm 12 years in the industry, I'm starting back at year one, rebuilding up the client base because I literally gave it all away. So it'll be fun to be able to just do this all over again and be able to do it right and be able to put in the right systems and processes to be able to make it a little more systematic and really look at ways to bring on entry-level employees where that doesn't really exist in my business. Where that's what I want to be able to do is bring on some staff that's really more geared towards not just staff, but it's the idea that they can have a career progression, right? So instead of right now, their only role right now that we have is basically administrative assistant. So there should be a different role that if, let's say, they want to become like a financial advisor or a paraplanner, if they want to become an insurance specialist or an investment specialist or an investment analyst, like there should be a path for these individuals. And so that's what I want to build. I want to build out basically a massive organization to be able to satisfy all these different clients' needs. And so I feel like the individual advisor is going to go to more of that team mentality. And right now, the individual advisor services about 500 to 1,000 clients, like individual households, right? If you get businesses in there, it kind of changes things up from a number count perspective, but it'll be very drastic to see what's going to happen.
Sherman's out.